Oh, hello. I didn't see you. I was just looking at all of the books that I read in October. Would you like to hear about the books that I read in October? You would? Well, have a seat. Make yourself comfortable. First of all, there was Falling Man by Don DeLillo. I've been a big fan of Don DeLillo for years. The first novel I read was White Noise, and I think that I shall always consider that his best book. A lot of people say that the magnum opus Underworld is his best work. If you're unfamiliar with Don DeLillo, I believe before he became a very celebrated novelist, he was in advertising, and his style is extremely idiosyncratic. He writes these short, punchy, cool sentences, like a little bit fractured, a little bit discordant. The first time I read Don DeLillo, I was like, wow, this guy's got a style. Like, it's really fun and exciting to read. I like his shorter books. I really like The Great Jones Street. I read Running Dog a very long time ago, and I enjoyed that as well. So I'm always excited to pick up a new book by Don DeLillo. I did not enjoy this. I thought it was contrived. But I wonder, like, maybe I'm just sick and tired of, like, I've had enough of that special style. Like, maybe I've reached my capacity for that particular tone, and I don't want it anymore. I didn't enjoy it. Like, all of the characters felt very two-dimensional, and they just have this short, punchy way of dialogue, and it just doesn't work for me. Like, I didn't care about any of these characters at all. Like, I didn't feel it. I didn't feel anything from this book. So after all the modern stuff I've been reading, I said, okay, it's time to read my Shakespeare for the summer. So I read As You Like It by William Shakespeare, and I did not like it. I don't think I like any of the comedies. Almost every time it just comes down to cross-dressing in the forest. It's not too bad. It's not too hard to read. Like, there are sometimes I did have to check very specific phrases that I had no idea what that meant. The more pity that fools may not speak wisely, what wise men do foolishly. I liked that. So that was okay. You know, like, it's quite easy to read Shakespeare. 5 acts, read 1 act a day. All right, now here is where October was a poor month for reading. The Good Apprentice by Iris Murdoch. I was a very big fan of Iris Murdoch. I'm still a big fan. The first book I read by Iris Murdoch was her first book, Flight from the Enchanter. And the second book I read was her second book, Under the Net. And I really enjoyed both of those books. I thought they were very, very good. They were exciting. They were quite different. They were unusual. So I was looking forward to this one. It was just that 520 pages. 520 pages doesn't scare me. It does start off quite well. Edward Baltram is overwhelmed by guilt. His nasty little prank has gone horribly wrong. He has fed his closest friend a sandwich laced with a hallucinogenic drug, and the young man has fallen out the window to his death. Yeah, pretty good. But this book is almost completely 500 pages of people arguing, and it's tedious. It is really, really tedious. The stuff that happens with that Edward Baltram, that's good, but it sort of goes nowhere somewhere towards the middle of the book. It is extremely rare for me not to finish a novel, and when I got to page 300 and I was like, well, only 200 more pages, just keep pushing through it. But I wish that I had have abandoned this one, because I just didn't get anything out of it. And I think it was Hemingway that said a writer should not do their thinking on the page.
Is that a book, Jeremy?
Yes, it's a book. Why shouldn't it be a book?
Why do you have it?
I'm going to read it, Mark.
You're going to read a book? You hate reading.
No, I don't. I love reading.
It's just long and rambling, and it's nothing. Really, it's nothing. And by the time you get to the end of it, you're just so happy to have finished it.
How's the book going? Enjoying it?
I look at it, I read the words, or think I do, but then I get distracted, or I don't quite take it in, and I have to go back. I've been on the same 4 pages for 3 hours.
I see.
Shortlisted for the Booker Award in 1985. Must have been a dry year. I don't know any of those books from 1985. So I said, all right, things have to improve. Things have to get better now. Like October is not turning out to be a very good month. So I said, I've got to pick up an absolute winner. So, The Ballad of the Sad Cafe and Other Stories by Carson McCullers. It's the first time I realized her name is McCullers, and I've been saying Carson McCluers for 20 years. I read one other book by Carson McCullers, The Heart is a Lonely Hunter, which is a Amazing novel. It is really very good, and I have to read that one again. So, The Ballad of the Sad Cafe. The first story is 70 pages, and it's quite good. It feels a lot like Faulkner. It is, dealing with the occupants of this small farming village, and everybody's quite backwards. But that's quite good. I'm a big fan of Faulkner. And the other stories are all really quite short. They're all about 6 or 9 pages. And I like the stories as well. Especially Madame Zielinski and the King of Finland I liked, and A Domestic Dilemma. Domestic Dilemma I really enjoyed. A man comes home from work and he sees that his wife's drinking again. So he has to make dinner for the children, because he doesn't want her to come downstairs. Like, he wants her to stay in the bedroom, and she's drunk, so of course she doesn't like that. So there, suddenly October got a lot better with this one. Train Dreams by Denis Johnson. My friend Alan lent me this book. Hello, Alan. Thanks for the book. He said it's about a man who lives in the forest, and then he has a wife and a child who die in a forest fire, and then he continues to live in the forest. And I thought, well, that sounds interesting. Sorry, Alan, I didn't love it. Usually impeccable taste. He's loaned me some really excellent books, but not this one. I feel it's a little bit hollow. I'm all in favor of writing a sharp, poignant, brief book that just you can accomplish all you need to accomplish in 116 pages. I'm fine with that. It's just that I don't remember much pathos for this man whose family is killed in a fire. What I do remember, though, there's a really funny scene where he's out in the forest and he finds that in the nearby town, a dirty show is coming to town. And even though he's older, I think he's 50 or 60, he gets really worked up about it, and he really gets very horny. And to combat his raging horniness, he sits in the cold river to kind of, cool himself down. And that I thought was great. I was like, okay, I like that.
Bad stuff? Do you mean porn? Horny porno?
Yeah.
You watch porn at work?
Now and then. I didn't tell you because I thought it might bother you.
Of course it doesn't bother me. It's hot. Do you, while you're watching?
Masturbate.
God, this is great.
What am I going to do? They're going to...
And then, Brian Moore, The Lonely Passion of Judith Hearne. Who is Brian Moore? Brian Moore was born in Belfast, Northern Ireland in 1921. He served with the Ministry of War in North Africa, Italy, and France during the Second World War. Awesome. He emigrated to Canada in 1948 and worked as a newspaper reporter for the Montreal Gazette from 1948 until 1952. While living in Canada, Moore wrote his first 3 novels, The Lonely Passion of Judith Hearne, etc., etc. Very good. It's not a particularly old woman. She's a spinster, a little bit over 40, and plain looking. And she desperately wants a man to love and to love her. Right away from the beginning of the novel, she is unpacking her belongings in a rooming house or a boarding house. Like, it's a house that has been separated into small apartments. So you have your room with a bed and a table. And all of the lodgers in this rooming house have breakfast together around one big table. And of course, there's all of that small animosity of people who live too close together. So that's where it begins. And from there, it is one long decline. And I like it. It's just that usually it's nice in a book like this when there is some hope, or there is some, like a high point to kind of balance out the misery. And in this book, there's really no high point. It's just, it starts low and it just declines. Good, but like I said, just a bit hard. You do feel for this poor woman. And so I would say that this one was the best of the month. It's a good story. It's a good novel. It's well written. The characters are quite, I got a good sense of who the characters were, and I enjoyed it. So that was number 1, The Ballad of the Sad Cafe. Both of these two were the tops for me. I like novels more than I like short stories. Short story is, it's like a little taste. Even if it's a long short story, 70 pages. And the other stories, you get that one little picture, which is quite good. This was really a tragedy. It's like 50 pages a day, for Christ's sake. Really, like it's a job. All right, 50 pages, so I have to read to page 100. Maybe I'll read to 105 just to, kind of chip away at it. 38 plays by Shakespeare, one more down. And this, I'm sorry, Don DeLillo. I recommended White Noise to many people, but I wouldn't recommend this book to anyone. That was October. Even when it wasn't such a good month, like I don't really feel very pleased with any of these particularly. Still quite a lot of reading though. 50 pages a day, that's my secret. 50 pages a day, man, you're gonna read a lot of books.
So I'm going to read all of this book from page 1 to, 372?
Well, what can I say? Like, what kind of a message am I sending to you if I say I read these and I don't feel that it was a very profitable experience? Well, perhaps I've saved you the trouble of reading them. Like if you say, well, the guy from Grant Loves Books said that the Don DeLillo book was not very good, maybe I can save you a little money there. Or if you think to yourself, well, I disagree with him, I really like Don DeLillo and I'm very interested in his take on the 9/11 thing, and you read it and you say, no, that's a great book, you completely missed it. Fair enough. I just have my own idea. Maybe sometimes it works for me, sometimes it doesn't. Maybe other things were happening in the background of my life that caused me to feel that way.
Okay, start reading that long paragraph there.
Right.
You probably feel like looking away from the page now, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Don't look away. Stay with it.
Fascinating. It's like watching a sheep try to use an iPhone.
Oh, it's too difficult. I mean, the story's told by a man and then a lady and then no one.
Keep reading. If you have a month that isn't really so spectacular, that's okay. I have resolved to make November much better. When I do this video for November, you will be swooning with envy. Mark those words. Swooning with envy. I'm going to read some of the big ones. I'm going to read some of the important ones. All right, so this is Grant Loves Books. Thank you very much for watching. Everybody, thank you for watching. Hello. Just wanted to share this with you. My neighbor put up his, neighbor in a fashion, put up his Christmas lights on October 31st, on Halloween. Well, they're not quite the only ones. I mean, there's those ones over there, but you may not say that those are Christmas lights. I mean, do you want that in your apartment? The tyranny of your own decorations?
Do you, while you're watching?
Masturbate.
God, this is great.
What am I doing?